Ever wondered what type of content is best for Instagram or where do content creators get their ideas from? Well, we're revealing it all, and here's how you never run out of Instagram content ideas. We're going to share how to get your content ideas for Instagram from an endless supply to continuously create high quality content, including answering some questions such as what content is doing well on Instagram nowadays, and which strategies do we suggest for you to create an unlimited amount of content? So let's get into it today as we help you step your gram up on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Welcome, everybody. I hope that you guys are doing well today. Happy Monday. It is the beginning of the week, and we hope that you guys are starting the week off well. And what better way can you do it than with us here on the Social Roundtable? So thank you so much for joining us. We got a great episode for you guys here today. We're talking about content ideas, specifically around Instagram, and how you can actually create more ideas so that you're not feeling stuck or deprived of when to post and not leaving it for the last minute. And luckily, as always, I am joined by my incredible co-host, Megan's, or better known as Social Media with Meg. What's going on, Megan?
Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. We are here for another incredible episode. As Heston mentioned, we are talking all about content ideas, and we are so lucky to have none other than the incredible Amber because she is going to help us really understand how she comes up with all of her content ideas. She is a master on Instagram and YouTube, and she has a podcast. So you are in good hands here. Endless content ideas for sure. Amber, do you want to take a minute to say hello to everyone?
Yes, hello everybody. It is so nice to be here again. I know the last time we did one of these, it was over on Instagram, so it's really fun to be on YouTube. But hi everybody. If you're new around here and/or new to seeing my face, my name is Amber Figlow, and I'm a content strategist. I focus mainly on helping small business owners build a content ecosystem so that you can create content with ease and have a system and approach to it.
And who better than to discuss content ideas with than Amber, who's always talking about content and the best ways to optimize and to get as much as you can from that one piece of content to create so much more. We're going to talk a lot more about some of that pieces of content that I'm kind of alluding to, but we want to let you guys know how this show is going to work. We are going to have a little discussion here about the main topic. As you guys know, here's how you never run out of Instagram content ideas. That is the topic, and we know that you guys have questions, so please feel free to share your questions in the live chat. I have my eyes on it right now at the moment. There's also a featured poll right now if you guys are interested to actually take part in the poll that's also in the live chat. The question for today is, do you struggle creating content ideas on Instagram? I actually posed this question Friday to my YouTube community, and surprisingly, I got 23% of people said no, they don't have a problem. But that means that 77% of people find that they are struggling with creating content. And that is something that I feel like it's more and more people that I speak to have problems with just on a daily creating content and where to get source ideas. So hopefully from our conversation today, everybody, you guys will have better ideas of where to get content and so that you always have that endless supply running. So I got a couple questions for the two ladies in front of me. Are you guys ready to get started in this conversation?
Ready.
Ready.
Awesome. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Amber, my first question is for you because everyone is always on the hunt for what type of content is best for Instagram. But the reality is, I think it's more of which of their content formats work best for their respective audiences. So I want to ask you, personally, in regards to your own Instagram, what content is doing well on Instagram for you nowadays?
Yes. So, my first big caveat I always like to give people is the content format that is working the best is the one that you're actually going to create. That's where I always tell people. So, I'm like, reels might be working for everybody else, but if you're not going to sit down and create reels, they're not going to perform for you because they don't exist. So, I always tell people lean into first and foremost creating content that works for you, works for your audience. But I will say the content that is performing the best for me right now is multimedia carousels. So, we're all very familiar with carousels. They used to be 10 slides long, used to be images based only, but now you can do up to 20 slides for vast majority of users on Instagram, and you can have what I like to call multimedia. So there can be photos and there can be videos. And that is what's performing the best for me right now is a mix of both. So I love to start with some kind of static image with a hook, and then maybe go to a video, go back to like a graphic. So I like to mix and match, and it seems to keep people's attention. And I'm also repurposing content that I already have. I'll pull clips right from YouTube videos that I've created, and those will be a few slides in the carousel mixed in with like an infographic that I created in Canva, mixed with a great just text-based call to action at the very end. So that is what's working best for me right now.
That's so awesome to hear. And the mix of content, I think, is a really key thing that a lot of people are starting to figure out that's working best for them now on Instagram. Whereas before, it was either you strict specifically with just video or specifically just images. But now, as you kind of shared, mix them together is opening up a whole brand new world of the type of content that people are finding on Instagram. Same question to you, Megan, in regards to this from your standpoint. What type of content is working best for you on Instagram nowadays?
Well, I can't say straight up one type is the best because I have some reels that do really well out of nowhere or some carousels that take off. However, if I look at like consistency of where I am looking to go, the goals that I have, which is gaining the ideal follower and having good conversion to actual conversations or getting people into my DMs, and getting people to save content and share content. Those are the big things I focus on right now. And that would be carousels. And like Amber said, the multimedia is really, really effective, even if you're not doing full video, but you're doing small things on the screen that move or animate, without distracting the viewer, not having everything crazy animations, but small things of things coming in and highlighting specific parts of that carousel. Or I'm loving this is I've done a couple of these and they performed okay for me, but they perform really well for a lot of people, like personal brands that are just straight personal brands. Um, like the photo dump style with animations over top. So it's like a journal written out little prompt or, description of what's going on. So having photos, but it's really a small video is really, really popular right now.
Once again, another kind of aspect of taking mixed media in a way, and then now you're talking about even adding certain elements to it where it's not the full-on video but small things that might be moving on that piece of content that adds a little bit of, you say it's not a distraction, but I feel like it adds a little bit of movement where if somebody's scrolling, they pay a little bit more attention to it. It captures their eye. Do you have? I'm wondering if you have a question for the audience that is joining us today on the live. We'd love to know if they have something to share as well.
Yeah, because this is something that I see in my feed a lot right now. Curious from everyone in the audience if you are seeing carousels that also have videos or also have animations, just not static photos. Thumbs up if yes, you have seen them. Thumbs down if you have yet to see them.
I got to put a big thumbs up on that one because the carousels. I think it's fair to say carousels are they've returned. They're having an amazing comeback. It's like the renaissance of the carousels because at one point it was reels this, reels that. Um, and I have to be honest, I was kind of getting sick of reels to a certain degree. It was like, don't get me wrong, I like to consume them, but the idea that I only can create reels because that's what everybody wanted, I was getting a little bit burnt out in regards to just creating the ideas of it. And we'll share a few things later on, guys, in regards to where you can find some new, fresh ideas for whether it's reels or carousels. But I think now, as we're seeing a change in demand, there's still the want for reels, but I think people are a little bit more open to carousels and even single images. I'm seeing a little more single images nowadays than I used to, and it's not just a regular infographic. I'm seeing like certain ones that are done as a quote that are really well done that's capturing attention too. So I think the idea of mixing your media and your content in very interesting ideas is something that is just next level right now in regards to what the community wants. But yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. Even for those that are watching the replay, if you guys are watching the replay, we would love to hear from you in regards to Megan's question. So go ahead and post that in the comments or in the live chat, and we'll definitely respond back to you guys as well. Um, Once again, I just want to remind you guys, as Amber kind of hinted at before, she was on the social roundtable with us. It was on Instagram Live, but now it's YouTube. We are now on YouTube, and we do this every Monday. This is the social roundtable, and if you're watching, whether the replay or live, please, we would love and appreciate you if you can please hit the like button and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other future episodes from myself and Megan, where we feature incredible guests like we are today with the amazing Amber Figlow. And if you want any of our links, you want to connect with us after this live, please don't hesitate. All of the links at the bottom of this in the description. You can find links to myself, Megan, and Amber. And Amber, I have your link. I believe it's your link bio. I forgot which one it is on Instagram.
Yep.
I have that in the description as well. So if people want to find you, they can find all of the links there at the bottom.
Perfect.
So we're going to move over to our next question. Once again, we are talking about here's how you never run out of content ideas for Instagram. And pretty much that is going to be the main question that I have now coming, because it is a common question that I often hear. Where do content creators get their ideas from? And not just any ideas that we're speaking about, we're talking about how to get good content for Instagram kind of ideas. So let's each take a moment. We'll go around the social roundtable and share a special technique that we use ourselves. I'm going to go to you first, once again, as our special guest, Amber, and I have this question for you. What strategy would you suggest to create an unlimited amount of content for Instagram?
Yes. So I actually have a two-part framework that I love to coach people through. And the first part of the framework is finding a content idea that has some depth to it, meaning we can stretch it as much as we can. And now, typically, there are three different places that I recommend you find these content ideas. So, number one being anything trending. It doesn't have to necessarily be a trending audio, it could be a news article, it could be something hot that's going on in your industry. So, something that is a little bit more timely in nature that you might have some thoughts on. Number two, this one's my favorite, and people are always the most hesitant towards it. What are sales objections that you get from clients, customers, people that haven't purchased from you? What is like the hesitation when they go to hit purchase, and start answering those in your pieces of content. And number three is just like frequently asked questions. If your audience is asking you something frequently in the comments, if they're DMing you about it, it's people are looking for that information. So those are the first three areas that I like to find the initial content idea. And typically these are, really good things that people are searching for. They're really in tune to. And then what I like to do, this is where my ecosystems come into play, and I love content repurposing. So I always recommend people, like, if you're really struggling, like, what do I post on Instagram this week? You can take that one content idea and stretch it throughout the entire week. Maybe Monday, it's a talking to camera reel. Maybe Tuesday, it's the multimedia carousel. Wednesday, you jump on a trend, use some B-roll, put text on screen. Thursday, maybe you take it and go live with your audience and answer questions in real time. And maybe on Friday, you do a quick little selfie, a photo dump, something, screenshots even, of kind of what you already talked about, and take that content idea and stretch it across the formats of Instagram. I promise you, your audience won't notice. And if they do, they're your super fans, which is a good thing anyways, but it just gives you the ability to stretch that piece of content, that idea. So you just turn one content idea into 5 pieces of content. So that's the true secret behind the unlimited content ideas, at least for me.
I love the way that you kind of just broke that down and broke it down to one piece of content, but now you have one for every day of the work week. And
Oh, yeah.
you did it so simply and so easy to me. But and you mentioned some people might see it, and those are your super followers. I personally don't feel like they would find a problem with that, especially the image might be somewhat similar, but now what you share in the caption might be a little bit different as well. So you're still giving them different value that they can engage with, whether it was something that they saw on Monday and then they see something similar Wednesday or Thursday the same week.
Yep.
That is an awesome strategy. Megan, did you want to follow up with anything in regards to what Amber just shared?
Yes, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? That's because it really is. It's just having the dedication to actually stick through with that plan. And like Amber said, making sure that you are finding what's working and what your audience actually wants. We tend to overcomplicate it all the time and think, no, I have to do something else. I've already done that. Or that's basic. Everybody knows that. Well, they don't live in your niche all day, every day. You do. So I definitely love that. And the idea of bringing it back to the simplicity and taking one idea, expanding it, and using it for multiple different pieces of content, which leads me to a tip I have of not only coming up with the idea and expanding on it, but using like the exact same material in a reel, also on a carousel. Obviously, the format's going to be different and the way that you present it is different, but don't think that just because you posted one idea, it's done. You have to move on and find a new one. You probably can find a way to turn that into a carousel or a live or a story, or a single image. There's so many ways to repurpose, and that helps you double, triple your content right there, depending on what types of formats you create. And I have to be the one to say, don't overlook the power of tools. We have so many tools, and maybe this is an issue that we have so many tools. We sometimes get overwhelmed and don't actually take action. We stay in like the planning mode, the saving ideas mode, and the comparison of what we could do or should do. But we have so many resources, even just Instagram itself, scrolling and saving content ideas. I save all of my content ideas that I love from other creators into specific organized folders. So not just saving them, but it's like content ideas about blank, content ideas about blank, or, edits that I like, transitions that I like, aesthetics that I like. And I have it all organized so that I can go right in and reference. I've been using Poppy AI a lot, and this is not paid. We are not sponsored by them, but I am actually obsessed. Like, I love a lot of tools, but I've never been so obsessed with this tool. Being able to copy and paste links of different creators' content that I enjoy and have it read it right there. It can watch all of the reels, it can read all the captions, all the text on screen, and it can analyze. And then I can plug in my content and I can say, this is my voice, this is my style, these are the topics I like to talk about. And then these are the people that inspire me, the content that I love that has performed well. Can you help me come up with content ideas, scripts, copy, etc., all based on this information? And it's insane. You can use a bunch of different tools within this one. Like, it's Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, all in one platform. So I've been using that a lot.
I've been hearing quite a lot about Poppy AI recently. And I'm even starting to get messages from Poppy AI in the DMs. I'm like, I think it's going to happen eventually, sooner or later. I see you're nodding your head too, Amber. Are you familiar with Poppy AI?
I am. I have implemented it into my workflow too. And it's just insane what it can do. And the fact that you can add so many different resources. So let's say you go back to the saved folder that you were talking about, and you can copy and paste those links of, here are content ideas I love. Here's my brand guide. You connect them to a chat and say, hey, how do I reposition what content creators are talking about XYZ topic, but frame it for me, frame it for my brand, frame it in my voice. And I'm telling you, the tool is insane. I use like the ChatGPT version for like research and data, and then I'll use Claude to like help me script it, or more copy based, and it's all in the same tool, and it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I get a lot of ideas from there too. It's a great one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
You can
guys.
even like plug in YouTube videos that have trainings, or if you're in a course,
I've seen that.
and you can link that. And if it's like a specific framework you want to implement for your piece of content, it will do it for you. You don't have to sit down and watch it yourself. Like, you don't have to really dive deep, and we're busy. It will help you summarize how to do that. Like I said, this is not paid, but I do have a link if anyone wants. I'll put it in the description.
Awesome. So there you guys are getting away with just one tool that we mentioned, and a couple different ideas in regards to creating content. Poppy AI, if you are listening, holla. If you want a sponsorship, just let us know. But yeah, for real, guys, that is just one. I want to go to you now, Megan, to share one of your main strategies that you utilize that does not include Poppy AI.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have one in particular to follow up with?
Well, it really is going through and saving ideas and understanding that content is all around you. Even the things that you don't think are connected. I wish I could remember. Oh, Teresa Notes, I think, is her handle. Yeah, hopefully I'm not wrong there, but she created a post about like, she creates content about content creation and, having her small business and Notion and all the tools that we use. So she has a carousel that is about how she failed so many times making cookies, and finally she got the right cookie, batch. But she relates it to how you post so many posts, and so many are going to flop until you get that perfect recipe. And we just have to understand we have these different ideas everywhere. We just have to find ways to connect it back. And I mean, lots of tools can help you with that too. Like you can find
Yes.
ways to have the analogy and the tie into your story, and to just understand you're probably overcomplicating it. You have so many ideas. It's time to sit down, plan it out, put it into action.
I just don't mind me. I got a little bit interrupted as I was reading a question from the live chat. So we actually have a question. This is directly for Amber. Greg wants to know, what is your favorite content type?
My favorite content type. Okay, so I'm a yapper. I love to talk on camera. So for me, it's actually my YouTube videos. And kind of that framework that I gave you guys earlier with the content repurposing of one content idea, that is my content system. Is I actually create YouTube videos first, long form, anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes, nothing crazy, just talking to camera. And I break that down for other platforms. So that's what works best for me and why I like it so much, because the people that need a little bit more tutorial explanation, they want to dive deeper, they can get that on my YouTube channel. But somebody else, even my ideal customers, ideal audience members, sometimes they would prefer it in a reel. So I'll pull the best pieces of that YouTube video and put it out as a reel. It's still me talking and yapping the camera, just a different format. So for me, my favorite content type is YouTube long form, or some kind of just talking directly to camera. And another reason why I like it, not a lot of people do it. A lot of people, especially on Instagram, they do, these are great pieces of content. They'll do text on screen with B-roll. They'll jump on trends. And again, I think there's something really great about those, and you can get engagement. But for me, sometimes I want to stand out, and my talking to camera videos tend to stick out a little bit more.
They definitely do. I would definitely agree that your talking videos are something that definitely stops the scroll, the way that you present it, especially as you mentioned. Not a lot of people are doing them nowadays. There was a point in time where it was like a lot. I feel
Yes.
like a lot of people are going for the more easier B roll, which is not a problem.
No,
But as you said, you're taking advantage and standing out from doing that. So that's awesome.
totally. Takes a
And
little bit more
Megan,
time, but I
yeah,
prefer it. And it's so hard for me to explain something in a 7-second reel. I'm like, I need to give you context. I'm like, I can't give it to you in 7 seconds, that kind of thing.
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. And Megan, I think your point was very valid, especially because you mentioned that you like to find inspiration off of Instagram. And I feel like some people don't really realize that you have that right in front of you. We're so focused on a doom scroll of being entertained that we forget to actually scroll with intention of looking for inspiration. And as you said, like you're utilizing other parts of Instagram, such as the save feature, and you have all of these different folders that that you attribute to save for this type of edit and save for this type of video, however you decide to break it up. I think that's a really great way to use Instagram and not go outside of it, to kind of use it for what it is, and its intentional and its full intention is to inspire. We're always talking about creators, but even creators need to be inspired by other creators. And I think using it in that aspect is really a great idea.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So, by the way, Greg, I hope that answers your question in regards to Amber's favorite piece of content. We're going to go over to, actually, I didn't answer the question just yet. But before I answer the question, once again, just remind you guys, if you are still enjoying the information that we are sharing here, getting some great insight and information, please hit the like button, tap the subscribe button as well. And if you're interested to follow along with any of our communities, hopefully all three, check out the links at the bottom for all of our Instagram and YouTube links. My answer to this is somewhat similar to what Amber has stated. Um, I follow somebody, Sean Cannon. If I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him, he is the CEO of Think Media, and he has this concept that I think is so just it's incredibly simple. Matter of fact, that's part of the process. He calls it the ASQ, and it's to answer simple questions. Now, generally, as I said, he's a YouTube guy, but I think taking this strategy and applying it to Instagram, matter of fact, to any social media, is really something very intuitive for your audience. So, to break it down, to answer simple questions, depending on what your niche is, you could answer the simple questions that relate to it. And if you're ever wondering, Megan kind of shared an AI tool. I'll share another one as well. We were kind of speaking about it the other day, Megan. Answer the Public is a great resource. If you know exactly your content, your niche, your content pillars in a way, you could have an idea of putting that into the website, Answer the Public. You're allowed, I think if you sign up for free and you're allowed a few searches a day, Answer the Public, when you, what you get back is when you put in a piece of like a topic, you get back questions, you get back relatable keywords, all of these things to help inspire you to figure out, okay, this is a question that I can answer, or if people are searching this right now, it might be something that's trending. The Answer the Public is knowledgeable of. Let me see if I could create content around this. Using this tool and pairing it with the idea of answering simple questions is something that I think a lot of people tend to forget because we're so focused, we're so in our world of what we do. We're more focused on the advanced stuff and trying to teach all of the high end detail aspects of it. You know, like how exactly to use this specific tool on Canva to get this exact technique. And sometimes people aren't looking for that. They just want to learn, how do I use Canva? You know, what are some of the features on Canva? Answer some of these simple questions can be very, very appeasing to your audience. And I think if it's done right, you can become a true trendsetter in that aspect. So you can use Answer the Public. If you don't want to use that, I think it was Amber. I don't remember who said it, Amber or Megan, but you said that you look at the comments sometimes and see some information in the comments. That's
Mhm.
another great source of where you can find ideas from. You could always start a conversation with those that are already engaged with your content and figure out what pain points that they may have, something they may have come across that you could help answer. And that answer presented, whether it's a reel or carousel, could be something that you share next that answers the same question to multiple more people in your audience. So I would say go to either Answer the Public, look at the comments, but focus on answering simple questions that your audience most likely has, and you can become their go to when looking for that type of topic. So that would be my piece of advice. And right there, we've answered the question. Here's how you never run out of Instagram content ideas. We giving you guys, I said we were going to do three. I think we did way more than three, Amber and Megan. I think we had a lot to share. We gave you guys a few tools, directly a lot of strategies. And I see that you guys are in the comments enjoying the conversation. So thank you so much for that. We hope that some of this conversation you guys actually found very insightful, learned a few things. I think some of those tools that we mentioned might be something you guys might want to go ahead and check out and try. We mentioned Get Poppy, I'm sorry, Poppy AI and Answer the Public and a few others. So go ahead and try them out. Utilize some of the strategies that we shared here today. And as I always say, step your gram up in the best way possible. We're going to move over to a little fun game that we like to play. Megan is going to lead us, me and Amber. Amber's been on the show before, so she knows what she's gotten herself into. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and you guys watching, whether you're watching live or the replay, will be able to join in as well. So, Amber, I'm sorry, Megan, take it away.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. Today's a Would You Rather game. So I'm going to name off two things and vote. Would you rather A or B? We'll go around the room here as well. So, first question. Would you rather A, batch a month of content in one sitting, or B, spend 30 minutes to an hour, because let's be real, every day creating content in real time? Amber, you're up first.
I am a batching queen, so I'm going to go with A. That's my exact strategy because I do not have time every day to be creating content.
Love that. Yes, for sure. Heston.
Oh, without a doubt, I gotta agree. I'd rather batch than try to spend that much time doing anything every day routinely because you're just gonna get burnt out and tired and bored of it. So I gotta go with batching.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I have to say that I have a idea that I want to batch all the time, but I tend to create more in real time. So, I guess I'd say B. Yeah. Yeah. So I know it's always great idea for me, but yeah, lots of distractions in life. That's how I live my life. Next question. Would you rather A, post your content that you're really proud of, but it flopped, or B, post something that's but it blows up? We will go Amber first.
Ooh.
I'm actually going to go with A, surprisingly, because I have blown up for content that I was like, oh, great. I didn't have this, or wish I had done this. And then the trolls that come with it are not fun. So I would rather post the content that I'm proudest of, even if it flops.
I love it. Yes, for sure. Heston.
Ditto. I'm sorry. I gotta fully agree once again with Amber, and almost for the exact same reason. I've had a couple reels that went viral, and it's usually stuff that's very off topic from what I offer. So then you get a different entire audience that is like, "Hey, I want more of that." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I just did it once or twice. That's not what I do here." And the trolls are definitely something that comes with it that you just can't get rid of, unfortunately, when you reach that level of virality. So I'll go with A.
Yeah, for sure. Had a feeling you guys were going to say that too. But I would have to say the same. Posting content I'm proud of. I'm not going to lie, right? It's nice to go viral and it's exciting. But there is something about like this past year, I changed the way I create some of my content and the work that goes into it. And how it feels to then go back like a month after you posted it and rewatch it. You're like, whoa, I created that. Like I surprise myself sometimes. And it feels really good. It's about the depth of those connections with the people who do see it and engage over the width. So, I mean, both have their place, but I would have to say the same. Thanks for playing along there. I see that Greg says he agrees in the comments. So he's also wanting content he's proud of. And I love that.
I seen somebody also put, I'm the mega flopster. Listen, you can learn a lot from flops. I don't look at, I always say there's there's wins and lessons. The L is lessons, not losses. And if you end up having something that doesn't perform as well as you expected it to, go back, look at the insight. Instagram give us these insights for a reason. Go back and figure out maybe what you did wrong so you could go ahead and improve at least 1% better the next time. And you turn that lesson into a win.
Yes, yes. I agree.
Well, all right. Well, I asked the audience. I sent in as we were playing the game. First off, great questions, Megan. I wouldn't say easy. It just so happens that some of those answers that we've given are things that we're just so. I think me and Amber are just so kind of used to of what we're doing already, and I feel like the audience watching right now in the live chat agrees with that as well. But hey, you guys might surprise us. So for those that are watching the replay, go ahead and share your answer in the comments. I would love to see if there's anybody that has a different idea or opinion in regards to these questions. It'd be really interesting to see what your thought process is. Um, we are pretty much done with that portion of our show. And I asked if there was any questions in the live chat. I didn't see any questions come in yet. So I'll give them a moment if there's something that comes in last minute. But while we wait for them, I'm going to give Amber a moment to share where people can find her. What is she up to? Is there anything that you want the audience to know specifically in regards to your business and what they can expect from you?
Yes. So you guys can find me on literally every single social platform except for Twitter or X. That's one I do not participate in. Just it's a crazy platform over there. But connect with me anywhere. My name is Amber Figlow again, and you can find me by searching on both mass majority of platforms. YouTube is where you're going to get the most information, the most in-depth content. Instagram is where you can connect with me personally. I do have DMs turned off on many other platforms. But yeah, you guys can find me there in the platform of your choice. And then as far as business goes, I'm currently in a fun revamp. So I'm going to have new freebies and things coming very, very soon. So just stay tuned into my socials for now. I have some really fun resources I can't wait to drop come like end of Q3, early Q4. So
Ooh,
just stay tuned. Yeah.
I
Very
love that
exciting.
tease. All right. I should have had your YouTube up. I've had Instagram up.
All
Usually we
good.
show Instagram, but guys, make sure once again the links are in the description if you want to follow Amber on both Instagram and YouTube, as well as myself and Megan. You can find all of our links and connect with us there. You mentioned your DMs are off. I know you're on Threads.
Yes.
What's your feeling about DMs on Threads? Just a random question. I'm just curious.
I'm not a fan, but again, I'm like, it's just not my thing. Vast majority of the people that I do connect with via DMs, or how it used to be, is like they'd send the thread to my DM and I'd get it on Instagram. And I'm like, that was working well. What are we doing?
Mm,
Luckily though, I haven't had an influx of like craziness there, but I was like, another place. I was like, let's keep threads simple. But that's just my personal opinion.
How about you,
Heston, what?
Megan? We haven't really spoken much about that. The
I
DMs on
know.
Threads.
I haven't used it. I haven't even looked at it, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree though with what I haven't looked at it because I already feel overwhelmed with DMs. So like I just, I get the purpose though. I understand they are expecting that there are some people there but not on Instagram or just there more prominently. But I don't know. Not my thing. How about you, Heston?
I sent a DM to somebody named Social Media with Meg, and she never responded.
See, I haven't even looked. Uh-oh. Oh gosh, I'm getting called out way too often on the show lately.
I've actually sent out like maybe 3 or 4 DMs just to test it the first day it came out, and honestly, I think the only person that ever responded was my brother.
Okay,
I won't
don't feel so
read what
bad.
it said. Regular sibling rivalry in regards to what he shared, but I don't. I feel like it came and nobody really paid much attention to it once it landed. It's not. I love Threads for what it is, and I don't feel like the DM made a big change. Hopefully, it'll stay like that. But we did get a question. This one is coming in. Now it's directed to Amber, but I would like for all of us to kind of share if we can. Um, how long does it take you to edit the long form videos into bite-sized videos? So since
Yeah.
it's directed to you, Amber, you can go ahead and answer that first.
Yes. So, full transparency, I do have a content manager who helps me with the YouTube editing process. But the key thing here is that even if I didn't have her, we have it refined so much because I use a tool called Descript. I record directly in Descript. So, I'm not even doing file management like using a memory card, uploading and downloading. I record directly in the program. We use the internal AI tools to edit the rough cut of the video, which takes literal minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time at all. And I've set up my Descript so that I have something called layouts. It's a fancy word for templates, so that it doesn't take her a long time to edit the long form video, maybe an hour or less. And then from there, I go through after the edit is done and I will pull clips myself. Again, there are great tools inside of Descript that allow you to do this not only manually, but using AI. So I'm able to do this in maybe a few hours a week. It really doesn't take me a ton of time because of that tool. Otherwise, it is a very manual process and can take you a lot of time. But we've refined my workflow that I sit down and I batch create all the YouTube videos once a month. And then each week, the actual creation process takes less than 4 hours of both my time and her time. And that sets me up for vast majority of platforms. So really good question.
Yes, thanks for that question. And I know you guys may have heard a few hours that Amber stated, but trust me when she says that when you do it manually, it is a lot more. I've been through that myself. I'll share that in a moment. But Megan, how about you? Because I know that you used to do a lot more YouTube as well. Because I think you have 2 channels, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, this is the main channel now.
Right.
But in regards to taking long form into bite size, what would you say was like the average editing?
Well, yeah, back in the day, before all these cool tools, it did take a long time. Like hours and hours, like 10, 15 hours if you were to really, obviously through a couple days. But now I actually use Descript as well. And it's so much, like it saves you so much time. And actually, using the AI tools, like there's a tool you can go in and delete all the retakes, which is like my favorite thing because I am a retake queen. I will say, oh, I ended that a little bit off, or why did I add in that random word, right? Like I have 30 takes of the same line. So I love that. And not having to like get up and start my camera, which actually, Amber, before I finish here, how do you feel? Because this is something I struggle with when I had an editor. Like I would be there like swearing and like, what the heck? Like, and I do just give her access to all of your mess ups.
Oh yes. I will literally talk to her and be like, please delete that. It's so funny because her name is also Amber. So it feels like I'm talking to myself. So get an editor with the same name as you. And it feels it just feels like I'm editing it. So I will literally talk to her like, Amber, can you please delete that? I hate what I just said. I will talk to her and give her all the raw footage. we just have a mutual understanding that I'm crazy sometimes in my YouTube videos. So yeah, it took me a while to get used to it, but now it's just like I just talk directly to her, and I think it's hilarious.
That's a great way to do it,
Oh,
because then
yes.
it's like not awkward, right?
Yep,
Like it's like
exactly.
admitting, okay, great, that was bad. Let's delete that.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
yeah,
you for that.
of
Okay.
course.
Yeah,
So
to
if we
answer the
have
question
anybody
though.
named Megan, if we have
Yeah,
anybody named Megan, you can apply to be an editor for Megan.
Yes,
there you go.
exactly. That would
Yep.
be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it takes a couple hours at most using the tools and having a plan prior. So not just getting up and throwing spaghetti at the wall, but kind of having the plan, and the more you do it, the faster you get.
I got to double down on what you just said. That really hits home, and I think a lot of people don't realize that the more that you do it, the faster you get. You end up creating, and Amber is like really perfect at this. She talks about it a lot. Creating systems.
Mhm.
You create this routine, and you start realizing how you can shave off time and optimize certain aspects of your workflow. When you get into that part of the strategy, it's like you become like a video editing ninja, where you're just like moving fast and you know how to utilize these tools as your weapons and just increase your workflow process of getting things done faster, but still to the point of where you're happy with. So yeah, Amber and Megan are talking about these scripts, and there's other tools. I'll share mine. Actually, we're using it right now to do this stream. We're using Riverside, which I gotta say I absolutely love, because this video is going on maybe about it's a little more than half an hour. But once we hit the end button, it goes straight to YouTube and it's available in that long form. What I do then after later today is I simply go onto Riverside. I click a button called Magic Clips. Click the button and it takes the video and gives me like 12, 15 sometimes short clips that I can customize. I could say, all right, maybe I want only Amber speaking, or I want Megan, or I want all of us, and maybe 30 seconds or 60. It gives me a little bit more control, but it takes maybe 5 minutes tops to come back with maybe 12 to 15 different shorts. And then I could go in and still edit it. Maybe it's not perfect. I might want to fine tune some things. I want to focus on a certain part. And then I change the layout and stuff like that. Excuse me. But Riverside to me has been really, really useful. It's been a game changer. And now it's helping us do the live stream right now. So that would be my choice. And I say doing that whole process, you know 5 minutes for the shorts. It depends on how long you do the live. I say don't ever do a live more than an hour, depending on how many people and the topic is. But yeah, how much I would say this, I think everybody would agree, what video editing was maybe just 2 years ago is completely different of a landscape now with all of these tools. It's completely different.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
best of
I
luck
will
with that.
I'll say that maybe like the thing that makes it take longer for me is that I have fun playing around with the tools. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh, it does this. Oh, it does that. And well, there,
Yeah.
I just spend too much time learning about it when you really don't need to. It's very simple and straightforward.
Yeah, so I think that is all that we have for the moment. I'm being asked if Riverside is free. Riverside is not free, unfortunately. But if you would like, I believe I have an affiliate link in the description. If not, please just send me a DM and I could get that over to you. I think there's a certain percentage you might get off. But yeah, unfortunately, for most of these tools, there are, you got to pay up a little bit or something. These tools they're using a lot of AI now, and
they're powerful.
AI almost equals you got to pay nowadays.
I think both of them
So
do offer
yes,
some kind of free trial, so you can test it out for
yes.
yourself. But both tools work very similarly. I've used both before, and you can't go wrong. It's just more so what your needs are. But yeah, both of them are great and well worth the money. I'm telling you, the money that you would pay for it. I think I pay for 2 seats in Descript like $60 a month. It pays for
Mm.
itself and the amount of time that I'm saving alone. So just remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and check them out, guys. We are not sponsored by them, but if either one of them wants to get in contact with Megan and I for future sponsors, go ahead and let us know. That's pretty much the end of our show right now. We had an amazing time conversing with Amber. This was a great conversation all about content ideas. We shared so much information. I think we were supposed to give you guys like 3 tips, and I think you guys walked away with like a whole notebook worth of information to discuss and take forward. You guys can start practicing some of these tips today, and I would love to see that. And if you do, please don't hesitate to tag us in them and let us know how it's working for you. Slide in our DMs. You have all of our links at the bottom of this page. So make sure you join us and, hit the subscribe button and like this video. And you know where to find us all. Any last words from anybody here?
No, I'm good. Grateful that we all were here and grateful for everybody in the comments and all the people who are rewatching.
Absolutely. So we are very thankful for you guys joining us here today on this latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Thank you once again, Amber, for joining us. It's been a little bit of a while, but maybe we can make the next visit a little bit sooner, because you always got great information that the others would definitely get a lot of value from. So we would love to have you join us once again. And make sure you guys are following her on all her channels. Thank you guys for joining us once again. We are out. Catch you guys next time on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Bye, guys.
Bye.